You're listening to the Canadian Women of the Outdoors podcast, the first podcast by Canadian women for Canadian women about Canadian women. Brought to you by Revolution Armory. Join the revolution. And True North Baits, superiority quality fishing tackle. See what the fuss is about. For 10% off all plastics, use code CWO10. Enjoy the episode.
Hey everybody, welcome back to episode 24 of Canadian Women of the Outdoors podcast. We skipped a week. It was my birthday on Monday, July 1st. So I wasn't, nor was I thinking about releasing an episode because I went on a mini vacation, which was awesome. Nice break from work and everything to get away, but we're back. We're up and running. This is episode 24. Before we get started into it, big shout out to our sponsors, Revolution Armory and True North Baits. Go give them a like, follow. With fishing season upon us, go give True North Baits some buys and stuff like that. Their plastics are amazing, as I always talk about. With waterfowl coming up in September, if you're looking for a new firearm, go check out Revolution Armory. They're actually doing a giveaway right now, so head on over to their Instagram page and check that out. Now we're going to get started into the episode. We've been following each other on social media for a bit, but just recently connected because she has graciously offered to help out with our Elmwood Kids Fishing Derby prize table. Then I was like, you know what? We need to get you on the podcast. So without further ado, please welcome Megan Merkley, owner of Lakeside Design Co.
Yeah.
Cooperation Co. I just know it's Lakeside Design Co.
Yeah.
So I don't know if there was more to the co or
just company.
Oh, company. Okay.
Yeah.
That makes more sense. So welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited.
Oh, no problem. So we'll get right into it. So give us a little bit of an intro to you, where you grew up, where you're from. I creeped your Facebook or your Instagram because I'm a weirdo like that. Like, what kind of got you into hunting and fishing? I've seen some amazing pictures, which we'll kind of touch base on some of those things later. But what kind of all got you started in on all that?
So I'm from New Liskeard and or Temiskaming Shores area, whatever people identify.
Where the hell is that?
So you know where North Bay is?
Yes, I do know.
An hour and a half north of that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So is that like kind of near like the Quebec-Ontario border-ish type thing?
It is exactly where that is.
Okay.
Yeah. So my First Nation is actually Temiskaming First Nation, which is bordering on the Ontario-Quebec border.
Okay, I didn't know that about you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
that's awesome.
So Lake Temiskaming, which is where New Liskeard like surrounds, and then like the Quebec side, that's where I grew up fishing.
Oh snap, probably amazing fishing up there.
Yeah, all kinds of stuff in that lake.
So you fished your whole life then, like as far back as you can remember?
Yeah, pretty much. Like I actually grew up fishing with like my aunts and uncles, and it was actually mostly ice fishing that I did with them.
Okay.
Yeah, so I grew up ice fishing walleye and some pike. And now I've like totally merged into boat fishing, lake trout, and bass.
That's quite the flip flop.
Yeah.
But I mean, like up there, you must have more like cold and ice and like.
Yeah. We have 7 months of winter here.
Yeah, I mean, so we went up to Kirkland Lake ice fishing, and I think they still had ice until like April.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's insane.
We have ice right up until like May, sometimes later.
And we barely got ice in the Bruce County down here. So is that where you are like now then? You live up that area now?
I live in Cochrane. So that is almost 2.5 hours north of where I'm from.
Holy crap. So you went even farther.
I went even further.
Oh,
so Cochrane is actually the most northern part of Ontario that you can get from Highway 11 before you have to go west.
Oh.
So if you look at the map and follow Highway 11, Cochrane is the most north, and then you go west.
So you must have some amazing ice fishing up there.
We have some amazing ice fishing up here.
Like I can imagine like giants, because it's probably not fished too much either.
Mhm.
Like
Exactly.
that's crazy. And so then we'll get back into fishing, but then like I've seen, I also know you're a hunter.
Yep.
So what kind of got you into that? Was that more of a later start or?
Yep, that was actually my boyfriend. So
Nice.
I was always kind of like interested in hunting, but like my parents, they're not like outdoorsy, and that's whatever, that's their own prerogative. But I was always like interested in doing it. I just never had anybody that I could like follow along or that could show me the ropes or anything. And then when we got together, he's like hardcore hunter, hardcore fisher. Like he would spend all of his spare time doing that if he could. So he's the one who got me into hunting, and I love it.
There's something very rewarding about being able to
Oh
harvest.
my god, it's so rewarding.
So what was the first animal you harvested? And I'm hoping and assuming that you harvested it to eat it, consume it.
Yeah, I don't shoot anything I'm not going to eat.
Perfect.
So yeah,
like I feel that.
Yeah. So my first harvest, if I remember correctly, was a mallard, a Drake mallard.
Wow. Like,
Yeah.
beautiful greenhead, eh?
No, not even a greenhead, because we don't have a spring season up here.
Oh.
Yeah,
Okay.
we only have a fall season, and they are not green anymore.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And then what did you prepare with it?
I cannot remember.
Hey, I'm asking all the hard questions.
But my favorite thing to cook with both duck and geese is, so I'm assuming most people have probably had buffalo chicken dip or something like that.
Oh yeah.
Before.
Yeah.
I just use duck and goose instead.
Now that's a brilliant idea. I haven't
Right?
tried that.
Right?
Because yeah, you can braise it until it's pull apart and then make your dip with it.
Yeah. So
How
I put
come
it
I
in the
haven't
crock
thought of
pot.
that? What?
I put it in the crock pot with beef broth, because
Yeah,
duck and goose is more like
red meat.
it's
Yep.
red meat.
Yep.
So I put it with beef broth. Usually about 10 hours. 8 isn't quite enough.
It's a long cook.
Yeah. And then
Like,
you just cook it as you would a normal buffalo chicken dip with whatever extras you want. Like I know some people will put like blue cheese in it. I'm not a blue cheese kind of gal. So I just do the cream cheese and some cheddar cheese. You can put bacon bits on top. You can put whatever
you
you
should put
want.
ranch instead of blue cheese. That's what I do.
Oh yeah, ranch. I use ranch. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, and say I can go either or, but usually we have ranch kicking around, and ranch is what I'll put in it. And it's kind of the blue cheese ranch. You eat either or with chicken wings. So, but that's actually a brilliant idea. I definitely need to try that. And
oh my god,
can't believe I hadn't thought of that yet.
It is so good.
Yeah. So then what's your favorite hunt then? Like what else have you hunted? Like what do you hunt? Because you get more things up north. Like I know you guys have more like moose and big animals up there.
Yeah.
And not so much turkey, whereas down where I'm from, like we don't have moose in this area. We have deer and turkey. So
I would almost call myself like a well-rounded hunter, because I've done almost everything other than like elk and caribou.
Oh, okay.
We don't have that up here.
Yeah.
So I have gone on sits for bear, but I don't care to eat the bear, so I don't hunt it anymore. I have gone on sits, but I haven't harvested myself. I've done moose. I've done, which I got my first bull moose, my first moose and my first bull moose the fall that we just had.
I think I saw that picture and I was like, holy shit. Like
that was a
oh my god,
big moose.
It was huge.
Yeah.
I seen the picture and I was like, oh, like what was that like to get out of the bush?
Thank God we hunt in groups, because otherwise I would not be hunting.
Yeah. No
Shout
kidding.
out to all of the people we hunt with. You know who you are if you're going to be listening to this, but I would not be moose hunting if it weren't for them.
Yeah, that thing was massive. I seen that picture and I was like, oh my god, like that fills your freezer like 2 times over.
Mm-hmm.
And like it's funny, like I've never personally harvested a moose, but we've been lucky enough to be gifted moose from our friends and stuff like that. Moose is actually my favorite thing to eat.
Yeah, it's really good.
Is that one of your favorites, or do you have a favorite?
I can't say that I have a favorite because we have both moose and deer in our freezer and it's not labeled.
Oh, so
I
you're
never know what I'm getting.
Red meat.
Yeah. So I've also hunted deer. So we hunt deer every year down by Espanola, Sudbury area.
Okay,
yeah. They have a lot of deer out there, and Patrick has family out there. Patrick, my boyfriend, he has family out there, so we stay with them. They know the spots. They bring us to the spots, and we spend a whole week hunting with them. I've harvested a wolf my first year deer hunting, which was also my first year hunting.
Oh,
that was wild. I'll get back to that.
Yeah, I want to hear that story, but we'll circle back to that. Go ahead.
Partridge, ducks, geese. I've tried my hand at taking a sandhill crane, but I missed.
Oh yeah.
So
at least you're honest about it.
We don't have a season for sandhill cranes up here. However, I am a status card holder, which means that I have rights. I don't go searching for them. It just happened to fly in with a flock of geese.
Yeah.
And everyone was like, take it, Megan, take it. And by the time I realized that it was flying above me, I didn't have a good shot. So I never ended up getting it. But one day I'd really like to go try to get a sandhill crane.
Interesting. Yeah, because that's recent.
So they just started. I think they put out like a survey or something not long ago to try and get a season going, because the amount of sandhill cranes that we have up here in the farmers' fields is
they're a nuisance.
Unimaginable. They're a nuisance. Absolutely, they're a nuisance. Yeah.
Yeah, which ends up being a problem. Like I know coyotes in our area.
Yeah,
are problems. I don't know what sounds like. There's wolf problems up in your area.
Actually, the wolf I got down in Espanola area when we were deer hunting.
I have mixed feelings about that, because like I would never like go and target a wolf because they're one of my favorite animals. But however, if I was hunting and it came up and it was like going to like attack me, it's kind of like, okay, survival. Like that's kind of what you got to do there. Yeah. But anyway, you can continue with that story.
Yeah, I'll dive into that. So I think I covered everything. Moose, deer are the big game, and then Patrick, he hunts bear because he eats it. And then
I think bear is delicious, but
yeah,
I'm a weirdo. So
a lot of people, when I say I like deer, they're like, "Oh no, I don't like deer."
I find with deer you have to marinate it. I like deer. I like deer, but it depends on the cook. Like I wouldn't just like salt, pepper, sear. Here's deer steak.
You gotta add some spices to that.
But like with moose, I could totally just like sear, salt, pepper. Like moose is just so good. I love moose, but definitely I find deer. Sorry, go ahead.
So the waterfowl, and then partridge.
That is something I haven't shot yet. We have grouse in our area, and
partridge, grouse. Yeah.
I almost hit them like every time we're heading to my partner's farm. And like, it's like at that point, it's like, well, we can't get you during the season. So maybe we'll just swerve a little bit. Yeah. Like I have a recipe in my head that I want to do with them. And I'm just like, I just need to get one of you.
Yeah.
Like I've heard, like, I mean, I've had pheasant. I've had loads of pheasant.
I've never had that.
Oh, pheasant. I mean, all those kinds of like littler birds, smaller birds are they're all basically little chickens.
Right.
But there's just so much you can do with them.
Yeah.
So, and which is like, again, I love cooking. I love all that kind of stuff, like experimenting with everything. But okay, now I want to hear this wolf story. I'm really, really looking forward to this wolf story.
Okay, so it was my first time hunting big game and hunting deer, which was coincidentally also the first year I started hunting.
Okay.
So it was fall of 2019.
Was it a bow or rifle were you using?
Rifle.
Okay.
But I do bow hunt, but we'll get back to that after.
Okay.
So it was funny because it was my first time big game. So Patrick was like hyping me up. He's like, we're going to do this. Like, like just going through all of the ropes. And at one point he just kind of like, by the way, if you see a wolf, shoot it. He's like, we both have a tag. If you see a wolf, shoot it. But he's like, you're probably not going to see one because like the odds of you seeing a wolf, like you're probably not going to see one. But if you do, shoot it. I'm like, okay, whatever. Like, so where we hunt is like a 5-minute drive to where we stay. And we would like go out in the morning, go back home, go out, go back home, like just back and forth. And it was, I want to say day 5 or something of 7. I can't remember exactly. And I went and dropped him off, and I'm like, I really have to go pee. It was the afternoon. I'm like, I really have to go pee. So I'm going to go back to the house and I'll come back. But I had to drive through a trail to get out of where we were to get back onto the road to get to the house in the truck. And I got onto the trail, and I'm kind of like looking around because, you know, like it's a forest. Like you're looking for something that doesn't belong. And in the trail coming towards me, I'm like, what is that? Like, what is over there? And I'm like, oh, it's just a tree. Like, it's just a tree branch, like bouncing, you know?
No.
I kept driving, and it kept getting bigger faster than it should. And I'm like, what on God's green earth is that? So I stopped, and I grabbed the binoculars from the dash of the truck, and I look, and I'm like, holy shit, that's a wolf. So I like threw the binoculars back on the dash, grabbed my gun that was beside me in the thing, the freaking like gun thing on the center console, grabbed it and like shoved it so hard because it got stuck. I like got the barrel in the window, and I'm like, oh my God, the window. And then I got out of the truck, forgot to put it in park. My seatbelt was stuck on my arm. It was like just like
Chaos.
things, like absolute chaos. And the wolf is still just coming towards me.
And
So
you're by yourself.
By myself. First time shooting anything with this rifle. Like
Jesus.
Target practice, but like first time all by myself. So I pull up, and I'm like, oh my God, that's a wolf. And I'm like shaking because like this is the first big thing I'm ever gonna go to shoot. Forgot to take the safety off. So I'm like absolutely panicking. Oh God, like he's gonna go away, blah blah blah. So take the safety off, take a second, look back, and he was right there. Bang! Then I'm like, oh my God, was that actually a wolf, or did I just shoot someone's dog?
Oh no.
Because I was like, well, the houses are close. Like, I really hope that wasn't someone's dog. So like put the gun back in the truck, loaded, safety off, like super dangerous. I mean, I'm in the middle of the bush, but like dangerous for me.
Yeah.
And I called Patrick right away. He's like, was that you that just shot? I was like, yeah. He's like, well, what'd you shoot? I'm like, I think it was a wolf. He's like, what do you mean you think it was a wolf? I'm like, I'm pretty sure it was a wolf. He's like, okay, I'm coming. Just hang tight, but just stay there. Like, don't go to it. So I can hear him in the background, like a bunch, like thrashing in the bush and a bunch of noise. And he comes up and he's like huffing and puffing. Like he just ran for his life for like 10 minutes to come find me through the snow because we had a lot of snow. We had about 3, maybe 4 feet of snow at that time. It was a really bad winter. Through the snow in his snowsuit with his gun, like just like absolute marathon running it. And we go and it was a wolf. It wasn't somebody's dog. And yeah, like that was wild. He's like, I can't believe you just shot a wolf. He's like, never did I ever think when I told you half an hour ago that if you see a wolf to shoot it, that you would actually end up seeing a wolf. Because this guy's been hunting for like his entire life, like 25 odd years. Because I mean, he hasn't hunted since he was a baby, but never has he ever seen a wolf while hunting.
So can I ask what you did with it?
So we didn't keep the meat because you don't eat that. It's kind of gross. We fed the land with the meat, and then we tanned the hide.
I bet that's warm.
It's actually hanging up on the wall on the couch in the living room.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's still, I mean, yeah, something is going to get fed. And again, like, who knows? It could have come up and started coming right at you and attacking you.
Yeah. And like the biggest thing that people need to understand as well is that the wolf is the top of the food chain in the bush. The only thing above the wolf is us.
And I've heard like up in that area, they're like our coyotes down here. They are a nuisance.
They're a nuisance.
Like it's kind of, it's like our coyotes down here. There are little wolves.
Yeah.
They're a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
And I'm sure like with farms and what have you, like they're eating like live, like I don't know because I'm not from any of that area, but I can't imagine like it would be any different than a coyote in this area.
No, it's the same thing. And like 2 seasons ago, the deer population was so low because of how many wolves there were in the area. So I got a lot of hate for it, actually. When I posted that on social media, I got a lot of hate.
That doesn't surprise me because people on social media just love to hate on people, especially like us hunters and anglers and stuff like that, not realizing that like I had one person come at me that didn't even know that there's rules and regulations. She just thought I stepped out of my back porch and started shooting shit.
Because that's how that works.
I'm like, no, there's seasons, there's rules, there's regs. Like, I can't just literally, she thought I was literally going off my back porch and just popping stuff. I mean, I've tried that with like rabbits and stuff like that in season.
Yeah.
Like when it's season.
But
still, luck. It's not like in middle of July, I'm like, oh, I'm going to go shoot these ducks that are flying over my house just because they're there. Like, no. And that's the thing. People like are harsh and quick to judge because they don't actually understand.
Mm-hmm.
We have so many rules and regulations to follow.
Yeah.
And we get like, if we don't follow those, like we get in big trouble.
Like the fines are massive.
Oh, and like sometimes you can lose your guns and stuff like that. Like it's not like
it's not child's play.
No, and like a lot of that hate comes from ignorance, which I mean that's with anything nowadays. Like hate comes from complete ignorance and being uneducated in the subject.
And the worst part is it's so easy to hop on Google and educate yourself on it.
It's so easy just to ask the questions.
That too.
Like
why did it jump down my throat instead of just asking a question?
I'm here telling you a wolf is my favorite animal, and I would never personally shoot it, but you're telling me the story and I'm like, okay, I understand why you did it.
Yeah, exactly.
Like it's just have a conversation with somebody. It's not really that hard. Like
and I mean, get it. Like at the end of the day, like a lot of people are like, well, it's like a dog, like they never do it. I'm like, that's fine. That's your choice. Yep. My choice in that moment was to shoot it.
Yep.
And I don't regret it. I would go back and do it all over again.
Like again, it's one of those things. Like I would never really personally go out and hunt like a cougar or a wolf. But if my life was in danger, like if I was out hunting something else, and my life was in danger, I'm gonna pick my life. I would do something with the animal to make sure it didn't go to waste. Yeah, but again, like it's my life. Like
it's a no-brainer, but
apparently
it's not.
Well, and that's exactly it. Again, so people, those haters out there, ask us questions before you judge us.
Yeah, just ask the questions. And chances are, if you're wondering, there's a whole bunch of other people that are wondering the exact same thing, but that just aren't ballsy enough to ask.
Yes. Like it's actually like even the turkey I harvested this year, like, so my partner's family owns like a farm and they have a bunch of barn cats to keep the mice down. Basically every bit of that turkey, like I took the meat I wanted and stuff like that, but then all the gross, like the innards and stuff like that, they fed the barn cats.
Yeah.
To keep the mice and the rats away. Yeah. Like nothing, like everything gets, usually I would just fry that up for my dogs, but like everything gets used. It's not like, it's not
same thing. Like I don't put the guts and stuff in a bag and dump it. Like it stays in the bush.
Yeah. It feeds
the land. Like something is going to eat that.
Yep. Like, well, usually like depending on, like I'll give like my dogs like a liver, lungs, like I have a husky, so I'll fry it. I'll fry up like that stuff and it's a snack for her. She loves it.
Absolutely.
But Caitlin's mom came up when I was dealing with the turkey and she's like, Nicole, can I like take the innards for like the barn cats? I was like, absolutely you can. Like, here you go.
Yeah.
Like feed those cats. Like they keep all the mice, all the rats away. Like, so we don't have an infestation.
Yeah.
Like, cause they do cattle and stuff like that. And the last thing we need is a barn full of those stupid rodents getting into like all the hay and everything like that.
Well, yeah,
so
exactly. Because now your cattle is affected. Like it's like, it's
full circle. Full circle.
Exactly.
So we're gonna jump back into fishing for a bit there. So up in your area, what is your favorite fish to target? Do you eat it, and what do you do with it? And do you prefer ice or open water? Because you said you grew up on ice, but now you do a lot of open water. But I mean, still might have that preference. Let's hear it.
So
Lots of questions all in one.
I know. So like I said, I grew up ice fishing, mostly walleye and pike. Growing up, the walleye was like to feed people. I never liked fish. I don't know why.
Okay.
I have never liked it. I don't like the smell of it. I cannot stand the smell of it cooking. But I'll
Really?
bake, cook. I fish my own fish. I'll clean the fish, but I don't eat it and I don't cook it.
So you are, if you can, you catch and release type thing, or
Always.
okay.
Now, when I was a kid, like I was like just another limit, really, quote unquote.
Yeah.
And whatever.
I think you're actually one of the first people I've ever had on that just does catch and release.
Pretty much, yeah.
I'm trying to think. I'm pretty sure most of the other guests I've had on eat them. I'm pretty sure the first one that's catch and release.
Yeah. Patrick does. He'll keep a couple walleye here and there every once in a while, and he'll keep a couple trout here and there once in a while. He smokes it, and that's like,
ooh,
he loves that. And I'm like, go girl, you get that smoked trout. Like, I'm so happy for you.
Yeah.
For me, no. I only catch and release. Personally, catch and release only. I'm here for the fish that put up a good fight, that have like the cool colors, and that kind of look good in a picture, I guess.
So smallmouth bass for their fight.
Yes. And lake trout.
Okay, see, I'm still chasing after a lake trout. I have not caught one yet.
Oh
yeah. It's like, it is like my fish that I am dying to catch.
Oh my God.
I have tried, we were in Whiskey Lake at the beginning of June. They had trout there. I tried, didn't get it. I am dying for a laker. Like dying. I've caught massive pike, walleye, smallmouth, largemouth. Like I've done all that. I want my laker. I've caught whitefish. I caught a whitefish at a Lake Simcoe, perch, obviously.
Just not a laker.
Not a laker.
You gotta come up north.
I've caught salmon.
Oh my God. Yeah. You gotta come up north in the spring.
Well, maybe next spring we'll make a plan.
Ice out lake trout fishing. Oh my, none other. They fight so hard. Like, I'm talking like a massive pike fight. Like,
really
massive. That's how hard they fight. And they're like half the size of these massive pike. Yeah.
That is
fight hard. Like big head whips. They'll like the dives. Like, they do kind of the same as a bass. Like, they don't jump out of the water, but like the head whips, dives, like it's nuts.
When I thought lake trout, so I've done salmon fishing, and that was like a 30-minute fight to get that stupid thing in the boat. That was like a almost 25-pound salmon that I caught. It was massive, but it was like a 30-minute fight, and it took the rod. We were down rigging. It took the line and just gone. Yeah. So I don't know how you guys when we were in Whiskey Lake, I was trolling for them there. Still nothing. Like, I don't know. I've tried down rigging. I've tried trolling. I've tried drop shot. Like I tried doing ice fishing with tip ups and various other things. Like, a lake trout is just eluding me, and it's pissing me off because like every other fish I go to target, and I will target pike, get a pike, or target bass, get a bass, salmon, what have you, walleye. Like, I will target those and get them, but a lake trout is still eluding me, and it's starting to really piss me off. This fish is like the bane of my existence right now.
And see, up here, like, you can just go to a lake and catch one.
Like, I've caught brown trout, I've caught brook trout, I've done those. I caught a rainbow trout, but a lake trout, it pissed me off. This fish is just like, it's horrible. It's an asshole. The
No,
lake
they're
trout is an
actually
asshole.
so fun. They don't fight that long because they get tired really fast. So they don't fight
Yeah.
as long as a salmon, like you said.
Yeah.
Probably, if you get a good one, about 10 minutes.
Shit,
And it's
eh?
a lot of like back and forth. Like they'll fight hard and then they'll just kind of float. And you're like, okay.
So
we're
kind of
done.
like a pike. Like
And you're like, okay, we're done. It's like, just kidding. And it
Yeah.
goes again.
Yeah, so
So-
kind of like when the pike like float up and then you're like, oh, I'm gonna net you. Oh, never mind.
Yeah, and then it just like
You just-
dives right back under. Yeah.
That's awesome. I think we need to maybe plan something for a spring ice out.
Oh
But-
yeah.
All right,
Even-
so go
Even
ahead.
like winter fishing, like we get lake trout winter fishing every once in a while.
See, I've always wanted to pull a lake trout through the ice because ice fishing is my favorite. I
Me too.
love ice fishing.
Me too.
Ice fishing is my favorite. I would choose to go ice fishing over open water any day. Like if I could move up north, like your area, and spend most of my year ice fishing, I'd be probably the happiest camper ever. Like I've always loved ice fishing. I don't know why, because it's not like you're moving. It's not like I
It
love
all
ice
depends
fishing.
on your setup. So some
Yes.
people will sit there and jig. Not this girl.
Ice-
Not this girl. I'm all about
Tip
the
ups?
Tip ups.
Yeah.
I like to run. Even
Yeah.
though I'll do it and I'll be like, why did I do this? I hate this.
Oh,
But
I've
to just sit there and
fallen
jig
running
all
for
day?
tip ups. Yeah.
Like I'd rather watch paint dry than sit there and jig all day. Absolutely not. But the boys that I fish with, they'll sit there with their little cooler and their little chair and their little freaking. They watch the screen. First of all, I don't know, not me.
Atta
And
girl.
they'll just watch it. They're like, oh my god, there's one, and then they'll start like jigging faster, and then they'll just wait and nothing happens. I'm like, I don't know, like why? Just wait for the freaking tip up to go down and run. Like that's
See,
more fun to me.
I like jigging when there's like a school of perch and it's like boom,
Okay,
boom, 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 fish.
That's
But
fair.
like when I'm targeting like walleyes, pike, like the bigger fish, I'm the same as you. I use tip ups
Yeah.
because like when you just kind of see the tip up like shake and then kind of like go down, the flag goes up, you're like game on, and you
Yeah,
run,
let's
you
go.
trip. You run, you trip, and then like you see it spinning and running, and you're like, oh, what's on here right now? Like, I totally agree with you. Like, tip ups for ice fishing for like the bigger fish are so much fun.
And
like,
I could also be jaded, but I grew up when I was fishing, it was always tip ups. We didn't do like jigging, so it was tip ups with pickerel rigs. That's all that we had out on the ice.
Yeah.
So when I started dating Patrick, and he pulls out this like tiny little fishing rod with a reel, I'm like, what is that? What is that? What are we doing with that?
What am I looking at right now?
He's like, what do you mean? I'm like, what am I supposed to do with this? Like, where's the tip ups? Where's the pickerel rigs? Like, I want to park my butt in a chair with a drink and wait for them to come so I can run after them. Like, what is this?
Yeah, I mean, I've wiped out a time or two going after a tip up, not gonna lie.
100%.
Like, who hasn't?
I've ate snow. Like, yeah.
Fallen. I mean, it's the worst when like there's no snow on top of the ice and it's literally just ice and you're like trying to like skate across essentially.
Don't have that problem.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess like you're probably have like 4 feet of snow, then like 6 feet of ice, and like your augers are probably like barely getting through the ice because it's like, oh, that's the end of the auger.
Yep.
Yeah.
By the end of like when the ice is done forming, you got to go all the way down. The auger's got to go all the way down.
Oh my god! Yeah,
like,
so no, we don't
first you have to move the snow because
like
there's
dig
that much snow.
Oh,
then your auger's got to go all the way down. Like your handles are touching the ice. That's how much ice we get.
That's amazing though.
But then it stays.
You know it's safe.
May.
But and you also know it's safe.
Yeah, so
like,
safe.
You're not like, is this gonna break beneath my feet right now?
No,
like,
no, we don't have to worry about that. Like, I mean, obviously there's some spots, the current, what have you, whatever. But in general, rule of thumb, you don't have to worry about the ice. Come about Christmas time, you're good. Yeah.
That's crazy. That's amazing. I mean, like we like the last 2 winters, we've barely had ice. It has sucked down here.
Yeah, no, can't relate.
Yeah. like I said, we drove all the way up to Kirkland Lake to go ice fishing this year because that was really the only chance we had. Like we went out on a smaller lake, but again, like the ice was still kind of sketchy and there was no snow on the ice. So we're walking around slipping and sliding the entire time.
Yeah.
Like it was just, our ice season was not great. But let's talk about the business, Lakeside Design Co. Your beautiful, it's beadwork, right?
Beadwork, yeah.
Like how long? And if you haven't checked out the Instagram, it's at Lakeside Design Co. This beadwork looks so intricate, so beautiful. First of all, I'm like, I would never have the patience because those beads look tiny as shit.
They are.
And
They're
like the
very
things
tiny.
you do with them, what got you into that? And how do you have the patience for that? Like, and like,
So-
how did that get all started? Like, that's kudos to you for having the patience. Kudos.
So growing up, I never knew that I had Indigenous roots. And I only discovered about, I'd say maybe 4 years ago. So I'm in what we call reconnecting. So getting back to the roots, finding relatives, getting back into learning the language and everything that has to do with the roots. And so after I found out, I took a workshop with a wonderful lady in town here. I think it was in 2020. No, I can't remember. But anyways,
pre-COVID or post-COVID?
I can't remember. I have to go look through pictures because I obviously have pictures of the first thing that I made. But I'm not going to do that right now because I have like 11,000 pictures on my phone and we're not going to do that. So I took a workshop with her and I learned how to make like a wrap earring, like wrap around a piece of paracord. Just like a little hoop. And I was like, oh, like I kind of really like this. But that's all I had was she showed me how to do that. I didn't have anything else. And then I think it was the following summer, there's another lady who was hosting another workshop on how to do, I can't remember what, but it was a different stitch. And so I was like, oh, I'm going to take the workshop. So I did. And I finished like way before everybody else. She's like, Megan, like, how are you already done? Like, usually people don't finish what we're working on during the workshop. She's like, you did such a good job. Like, there's no like weird spacing. Like, your thread like tension is really good. Like, this is like I think you have done this before. And I'm like, I haven't. This is my first time. So after that, I started watching YouTube videos. I went and bought myself a few supplies because we have a store in town that stocks beading supplies because my community has a very large Indigenous population. So we are also, do you know where Moose Factory? Up on the James Bay coast. So it is.
Oh, like you're up there.
Oh yeah. So Moose Factory, the only way you can get there is by train or by plane.
Wow.
So they are the closest, like we're the closest to them. So a lot of people from their communities come to live here because there's just really nothing in their communities for them. Like it's a very different way of life up there. Anyways, back to this. So we have a store and she stocks all of these supplies because otherwise there's nowhere for these people to get their supplies. So I went and bought myself the basics. I bought some thread. I think I bought like 3 or 4 bead colors. I bought myself some paracord. And the first thing I made was a wristlet, like for your keys.
Yeah.
And after that, it just kind of like boomed into a whole freaking business. Like I don't even know. And it'll be 3 years in October that I started beading. Only 3 years.
And like your work is absolutely beautiful. Like
Thank
just
you.
looking at your like I said, the patience to have to be able to do that beading. Like it's unreal. Like, and I mean, I don't know size ratio, but I mean, I'm assuming the earrings aren't probably like huge hand. Like they're
like, small. Like both of them would fit in the palm of your hand with room to spare.
good for you for the patience for that. Like, oh my gosh. So, like, what all kinds of stuff you make? Earrings?
So I make earrings, I make wristlets and lanyards for your keys. I've made pins, I've made hair clips, I've made poppies. I don't know, the possibilities are almost endless. Like all kinds of stuff.
So what's the craziest thing you've ever made, and how long did it take you?
I would have to say, so it would probably be the service awards that I create for Aboriginal People's Television Network.
Okay.
So I was approached by them about 6 months or so into my beading journey to create the 15-year service awards for their staff. And this thing is about the size of a piece of paper.
Oh, so shit.
There's an Inukshuk. There's 2 floral pieces, and in the other corner, there's the Métis logo, which is like the infinity sign with blue and white.
Yeah.
That is probably the biggest piece I have done so far.
And that's all with beads.
Recurring. All beads.
Like, so I like you like it's all through like thread essentially, or like, and it just stays in that pattern, like, or like there's like knots, obviously, like
so you use a foundation, which is usually like some form of stiffened felt or hide. You can use hide as well. And then I use 2 needles. Some people only use 1. I use 2. So 1 needle will thread all the beads, and the other needle goes in and out, tacking down. So they stay there, but they're staying there because I'm making them stay there.
You're giving me another future episode in my head, like a beading 101, like just a neat, like how it's made type thing.
Yeah. It's like, I try to take videos, but I always forget. And then I'm like done. And I'm like, that would have been a cool video. And then
like, I'm trying to picture it in my head. And I'm just like, this sounds like, it sounds oddly like, what's the word? Satisfying, like to, you watch those how it's made videos, and you're just like, oh, that's really cool. Like, definitely having. I'm gonna
have to do a time lapse from like start to finish.
How long does it usually take you? Like,
so it all depends on the size. Like a pair of earrings could take me an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. Like it all depends how big, how intricate, what I'm beading. So a lot of times I will bead around like a centerpiece.
Okay.
Whether it's something that I bought from the store, or I've recently really gotten into antler slices.
What? Okay. Like, so just pieces of antler?
Literally just an antler slice. Like you take an antler and you use a bandsaw and like slice it into very thin pieces. I glue it down and then I bead around. So if you go look on my page, there's a pair that I made not long ago. They're like green and pink, and there's a deer antler in the middle.
Okay. I'll have to take a quick peek at that. That's pretty neat.
Yeah. That's and then so those, I like doing that for earrings. Yeah. Otherwise, it's just like a pattern. Sometimes other artists will give away free patterns just because, I don't know, they feel like it. Some of them will sell the patterns for commercial use. Other times I'll just get like right now I'm working on a strawberry. Well, you can get a strawberry on Google, print it out.
Yes. Strawberry is a strawberry, right?
And then I just go and do it.
So do you take custom orders then? For our listeners who are interested in beadwork?
It depends. So with these awards that I do, well, this year alone I have 9 to do. So this is like a recurring contract. Like I'm under contract with them to make the awards.
Oh,
so at the beginning of the year,
wow.
So at the beginning of the year, they'll send me like a list of so and so's awards on so and such date and so on and so forth. And I send them the award about a month in advance because it goes to Manitoba to get a piece of birch bark biting. So what it is another artist takes a piece of birch bark and carves a design into the birch bark, and then it goes into the center of what I beaded, and then it goes into a frame with a plaque, which is then given to the recipient.
That is cool as shit.
Yeah. So it all depends how busy I am with those. I'll usually like post a story like, oh, if anybody wants a custom order, like send me a message. I don't advertise that I'm taking customs because about this time last year I got super overwhelmed and I like burnt out.
Yeah.
And so, but if somebody like sends me a message, like I'll usually take it. I just don't advertise that I'm taking customs.
Well, now you might have.
That's okay.
But
I also have a lot of stock for sale currently too. So it's right now is like prime powwow season, obviously, because it's the summer.
Yeah.
So I have 4 this summer. So I've already done one. It was June 21st. I have one at the end of this month, one in about the mid-August, and I have one at the end of September.
So you'll be busy.
I am very busy. So I have quite a bit of stock right now. It's all up on my website. If anybody wants to go check it out.
Well, we're nearing the end of where we're going to call it because we've been on longer than I anticipated. Because
I know. I feel like I have so much more to talk about.
Well, I mean, I think there needs to be a part 2 at some point. So
yeah, for sure. I'm so down.
But before we wrap this up, give me your socials and all the good fun stuff to follow, like you on and what have you.
So if you want to follow my personal Instagram, you're more than welcome. I don't post much on there, but it's at Megan, Megan, Merkley, Merkley.
But your hunting and fishing stuff is on there, which is
super my cool. Hunting and fishing stuff is on there.
Yeah.
And then the business page is at Lakeside Design Co. My logo is green with a pine cone and a little pine branch.
I mean, I'll be tagging you when I post this episode or when the episode's posted. You'll be tagged and stuff, so people will definitely know where to find you.
Yeah, but I'm on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. Personally,
you're on TikTok?
Not personally, just the business.
Huh, I might have to go follow that. I mean, it's funny. I'm on TikTok all the time, but I don't actually like actively like post myself.
Yeah.
Or, like, it's just one of those things where it's like I'm lying in bed and should be in bed sleeping, but I'm like, oh, here's That's TikTok.
Yeah. I actually didn't download it until a couple months ago because like TikTok business, like it's all the rave right now, right? Like everybody wants to see like the behind the scenes. So I'm like, fine.
Well, and that's it. There's your what do they call it? The what we were just, you literally just said it. Now I can't even think of it. When it goes fast, when you're doing something, the time lapse.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
I just always forget to videotape it. Like I always think about it, but I never actually do it. Like I even have a ring light, like it's behind me. Right.
You need like one of those like the they have the tripods for like your phones. Yeah. I have one. And what the heck?
I know.
You have all the tools, we'll make it happen.
I know. I just never think about it. But the thing is I'm always like, I'll sit down, beat a bit, and then I don't know, go do a load of laundry. And then I get sidetracked. I'm
adulting things.
I gotta fill the dishwasher. And then my dogs are like, play with me. So I'm like, okay, I'll play with the dogs. And then it's like 2 hours later and I'm coming back and I'm like, oh, I guess I'll beat for 20 minutes before I go to bed. So
I mean, at least sounds like you have a system.
Kind of.
Bead, laundry, dishwasher, dogs, bead.
Gotta throw in some food in there.
Yeah, have supper.
Yeah. But
anyway, we're gonna wrap it up because, like I said, we've actually hit the hour mark. So, yay us!
Yay!
Definitely gonna need to have you back on and maybe plan for some future episodes and maybe some how-to videos and stuff like that. Maybe even plan a fishing trip. Maybe you can help me get my lake trout. Somebody needs to help me get my lake trout because I can't figure these friggin' fish out.
I don't
know what's going on, but I can't figure these fish out for the life of me. That's what I keep hearing is everybody says go up north for the lake trout. Like, because I can't figure them out around here.
Yeah.
So
come north.
But anyway, thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate it. Again, also thank you for donating to my kids' fishing derby. I really appreciate appreciate that as well.
Absolutely.
Amazing. The young ladies that are participating in the Derby will probably love that kind of stuff. So, and it's nice to see that we have some young ladies participating in it. So
that is awesome. I love seeing that.
Oh, there will be lots and lots of pictures. Like, I'm so pumped. I'm so excited for it. It's going to be absolutely awesome. It's the first Derby that like I'm personally hosting.
Yeah.
But we've had some amazing donations to the table and stuff like that. Again, you're one of them. So thank you again for that. I can't thank you enough. But again, we definitely have to get you back on here again. I think I've said again like 6 times.
It is like 11 o'clock at night. No one.
I was gonna say it's late. I've had doubles yesterday and worked all day today. But thank you so much, guys. Tune in next week. I'm not sure who our guest is going to be next week, but thank you guys for listening. Big love to all our listeners, all our sponsors. I appreciate you guys so much, and stay tuned. We're actually working on a new logo, so I'm pretty excited about that. Yeah, I've got some designs sent to me today, so I'm just trying to nail one down, and we're gonna start getting some merch going out. So stay tuned for all that. Anyways, thank you guys so much, and I will see you guys all next week.
Thank you.